Welcome, foolish mortals. Today on the Disney Plus project, we are going to talk about WandaVision, the new Marvel show that hopefully it seems like they did better than the other Marvel show that they used to be doing. So hopefully it stays that way. So that is what we're talking about today on the Disney Plus project. So for those of you who are wondering, this will not be a spoiler episode. We're not going to spoil anything for you if you haven't seen WandaVision yet. I always have to preface it with that. So before we get into this, make sure that if you are not subscribed to the channel, you hit that subscribe button down below. Also, make sure to leave us a like and a comment and let us know what other shows or movies we should watch. So I had been leery about going into WandaVision, mostly because I have experience with the Marvel TV shows, both animated and live action, with shows like the old X-Men shows and a couple of Avengers shows, and then the Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I remember kind of enjoying Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. at first, but not for very long. They didn't do it. It seems like Marvel doesn't do as good of a job with the TV shows as DC does with theirs.
Yeah.
And they never have quite as much popularity as Arrow, Flash, and all those.
Whereas DC does better TV shows, but junk movies.
Yeah. I'm one of those weird people that would still rather watch the DC movies, but that's because I like DC better than Marvel. It has nothing to do with any of the movies being better or worse. So when we sat down to watch WandaVision, I was a little bit leery about it because of that. And then the show started, and it immediately starts with a 50s sitcom opening, like an I Love Lucy type opening.
Yeah.
And that made it worse for me. I was like, what in the world is going on? I'm so confused right now.
Yeah, you were as soon as that started, you were just I don't even want to do this anymore. And I was
just I don't like this already.
Give it a chance.
And I listened to one of the Disney podcasts that I listen to normally, and they, at the end of their episode, they did a spoilery talk about the first 2 episodes, I think, of WandaVision. And I don't feel so bad anymore because one of them said exactly the same thing. It first started and she was not sure that she was going to like it at all.
And I told you, just give it a chance.
Yeah, so I did. And it was interesting. It was very entertaining. Because they did do it in at least that first episode, because we haven't seen any more than the first episode. And they did, that entire episode was 50s sitcom, they had, and I think from what I've heard about it is they did have an actual studio audience there. Is what it sounded like. That it wasn't just a laugh track, because I figured that's kind of probably what it was.
Even if it was,
yeah.
I don't think that would distract from the essence of the show. So
no, not necessarily. And that wouldn't necessarily distract from it, but it's just one of those things that I was just curious about, whether they actually did use the studio audience or whether they just used the laugh track.
Right.
But no, it was a lot of fun. I actually did really enjoy it.
Good.
And I am curious to continue watching the other episodes to see what's happening, mostly because it seems like this takes place after the events of Infinity War and Endgame, in which Vision is dead. And so I'm really confused as to why he's back, because he wouldn't have been brought back with that snap just because of the way things happened. And so I'm just really confused as to what's going on, and I really hope that it explains it.
I have seen some pseudo spoilers, and I think that if we continued watching it, you would be pleasantly surprised.
That we might get some actual answers.
Yes.
Well, Marvel and Star Wars are really good about not actually giving you answers. They just give you more questions.
I watched it kind of pseudo-related. The girl who plays Scarlet Witch. It was a video of her talking about things in the WandaVision comics.
Okay.
And, like, it felt like little hints at things. But of course, because I haven't seen any other episodes other than the first, I don't know if they actually were. But just the way she was talking about them and, like, showing you these comics and stuff, it seemed like they were hints.
Seemed like she was trying to show you something without actually telling you something. Like, yeah.
But it was a very, like, professional, like, video done. Like, obviously this was like a promo video or something.
Right.
But yeah, I think if we continue to watch it, we'll be pleasantly surprised.
Yeah. Maybe. We'll have to see how that goes. But like I said, it is actually really good. It is actually worth watching. Even if like Marvel fans have really been enjoying it, and even people who weren't necessarily Marvel fans, like me, who's not necessarily a Marvel fan, I am really enjoying it. I mean, even because it is a pretty well done show. It is, and like even I was like, especially at the end, I was like, wait a second, tell me the things. Things are not adding up, and I'm not really. Yeah, she was trying to ask me, well, what does this mean? What is this thing over here? And I was like, I don't know. I don't know Marvel. But there's all sorts of Easter eggs and like there's lots of Easter eggs in there. Little things to see and little hints at maybe what's going on, and it like makes me all giddy, and I like that kind of stuff. I like having the ability to piece things together in my own time. Yeah, but yeah, I think this show is probably going to end up going places. Like even if they only do a couple of seasons, it's so popular. It's getting a lot of good review. It is. Like right up with the say the Mandalorian, it's getting just as good of now getting better reviews because Mandalorian's reviews started to go down. But yeah, it's getting really good reviews from both critics and from audiences. Yeah. Which doesn't always happen. And so I think it's probably gonna do pretty well perform pretty well for them. I think so too. So. And then after that, we'll have to see how they do with the other Marvel shows they're planning, the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and I think there was another one. I feel like, I don't know. I don't want to pass judgment because I'm the one who's like, don't judge it till you see it. But at the same time, I'm hesitant with those. Yeah. Just because I feel like the storylines are a little too much. But we'll have to see. Yeah, we'll definitely have to see. But yeah, that's kind of our thoughts surrounding WandaVision. Like I said, we didn't want to give any spoilers with this because it is a hugely popular show, and there are still quite a few people that haven't seen it. And we've only seen the first episode. And we've only seen the first episode. So we can only really spoil anything from the first episode. Yeah. Or from any of the random stuff on YouTube that we've seen. Because, people post things on YouTube, like scenes from the different later episodes and stuff, and it's really obnoxious. I was seeing it all on TikTok, but yeah. That too. Same premise, yeah. Yeah, same idea. They did the same thing with like the Mandalorian and like a bunch of other stuff, and it's like, really, come on. But yeah, so next week we are actually going to split off of our list a little bit because we got a chance to watch Pixar Popcorn, and we kind of wanted to sit down and tell our thoughts about that because we did not know it existed until just recently. So we're gonna do Pixar Popcorn next week, and then after that we'll move on to I think it's Hello Dolly that's next. Yes. Yeah. So, that is it for us for this week, so thank you all for joining us, and we hope that we will see you again next week. But until then, don't forget to thank the Phoenicians.